carrying on my complete coloring book collection series, a series where I'm showing you everything I've colored, as well as all the coloring books in my collection. And I've been coloring now for 4 years, so I've still got a lot more to learn and grow, but I am very pleased with my coloring book collection, and it's a privilege to be able to share it with you. So this is one of the rare finds, because this is Clara Markova's first coloring book, and I got it secondhand. So there are a couple of pages in here I'm not going to show you because they are not my coloring in, and I don't know who colored them. They seem to be people's colorings based off of color-alongs available on YouTube, but I don't actually know who colored them, and I don't want to take credit for someone else's work. So I'm going to try very hard to avoid showing you those completed pages and only show you my completed pages. So I've only done one completed page in here, and I've got one web, so I'm going to try and just take you straight to those, and hopefully we can avoid plagiarism. So I don't want to show you plagiarism. Okay, so here I have this one, and I'm slowly working on the strawberries and the flowers. Yeah, really enjoying it. Now this I started before I realized I could use Inktense pencils, so I might actually use Inktense pencils in the background and just make my life a little bit easier. But yeah, all pencil work so far, and really loving it. I think what I need to do is just bring in a bit more grays to make her dress a little bit more transparent, because she's rather stark naked, which is fine, but I think I need like a layer of gray over it, or maybe just gentle greens. So that's that page, which is my web. And then this is my completed page, also again completely Prismacolor pencils. There is some Spectrum Noir sparkle in the background in the sky, white gel pen, and that's about it. So yeah, again, I was practicing a limited color palette, so really like how this one turned out. So that is all I have done in Magical Delights by Clara Markova. Then next is Fairy Touch of Magic, which I also got second hand, but nobody had colored in it, so I can show you all the pages because I don't have to worry about plagiarism. Okay, so at the back here I was testing out Inktense pencils, and I think that was around the time I realized I could use Inktense pencils on this paper, which actually is a game changer, so really pleased with that. And then here I've been using Polychromos pencils, testing them out, and they work really well. But then you would expect that anything you put on a Clara Markova page will work. The paper is just absolutely exquisite. And then here I've done chalk pastels in the background. I got inspiration for this section here from Innie's Witherspoon. She's got a Facebook group and a Instagram account, so I saw it and I really liked it, so I just brought it in. A lot of Posca pen or white gel pen, some Spectrum Noir sparkle on like the wings. So yeah, again, I was trying limited color palette, or just trying to work on making my colors cohesive. I really like how my lemons turned out. Then we have this page, which is the current live stream color along, and I've been using Inktense pencils in the background, and then Prismacolors here for the seahorse. This is a whip, again just using pencils. I haven't come back to it. And then the nameplate page, which I used a whole lot of Inktense pencils, and I really liked how it turned out. And then I went over certain bits with Prismacolors, and yeah, so this lovely page, lovely. Really like how it turned out. So those are my Clara Markova pages. Now on to Hannah Carlson. So first up is Seasons by Hannah Carlson, and here I've only got one page, which is also a color along up on the channel, I think in the live stream. And I use Neocolor 2s for the sand, the background. I used it as a base, and it learned that I don't like using Neocolor 2s as a base. But overall, I think that it turned out really sweet. So yeah, a whole lot of white gel pen. I think a little bit of Spectrum sparkle pens. So that is Seasons by Hannah Carlson. Then we have Magical Dawn. Now this was the first Hannah Carlson book I bought back in 2020, which really kickstarted my coloring journey. So in here you're going to see some of my oldest coloring pages and some of my newer coloring pages. This is also the book with the most completed pages ever. So yeah, we're going to spend some time looking through this book. And I'm going to try and go from beginning to end to give you a full idea. I'll just zoom you out a wee bit more. Alright, so here I use Neocolor 2s for the background, Prismacolor pencils, a whole lot of white pen, some glitter over here, and some Sakura sparkle pens, just gel pens really. So I did that. And this was done back in 2021, and what I envisioned was a red dress moving into green, but I didn't get the gradient very well, so it does look a little bit disjointed. And then Mignot pastels in the background, and a whole lot of Dovecraft glitter glue for the dots, Dovecraft 3D pearl effects, white gel pen. Yeah, so really went all colorful. And then here this Neocolor 2s in the background, Prismacolor pencils, a little bit of Dovecraft glitter glue, and white gel pen. In hindsight, what happened with the petals and the background, I didn't realize how close the background is to the petals, so that's why the flowers sort of disappear a little bit. But I remember being so pleased with myself because I had done a full page with Prismacolor pencils and had been really loving it. So I remember being very pleased with this, and I still do like it. I think if I was to change anything, I'd just change the background. But I'm not sure to what color. Maybe a very dark green. But yeah, so very pleased with that one. Then this one, I use Schola paint for the background. Now Schola paint is paint I use for my children, and at that time back in 2021 they were really still quite little. I mean, you're looking at about 6, 4 and 8, so we were quite heavy into painting. So I used their black paint, but I realized it's not really a great paint for coloring books because it shows up dirt and smudges. And then I had been coloring this creature or this moth with castle art pencils because that's what I had at the time. And then I got my Prismacolor pencils and I was able to transform the whole thing, and the two together worked really well. So this is also Dovecraft glitter glue because I didn't have anything else. And I remember this was really, I was really pleased with myself for coloring that. And then here, this was done black Posca in the background, Inktense pencil for the smoky thing here. I'd been learning Inktense pencils from Peter Hewitt, so I was practicing on my own. Inktense for the stars, and then the rest is all Castle Arts. So yeah, I mean, I still was learning how to do portraits, and I'd done a very gentle portrait here. But I think if I could say anything about Castle Arts is that you can do really beautiful pictures with budget pencils and still come away thinking, wow, that's really beautiful. So yeah, you're going to see a lot more pictures in here out of all of my collection where I use Castle Art pencils. And I think that's why part of me still stands behind them, because in the right books, they do really, really well. And you can get really good results. This one is, I can't remember if it's black ink or white paint. And then I think it was Prismacolor pencils, gold foil here, kind of didn't work. These are stick-on stars, and these bumps here are Dovecraft 3D Pearl Effects. And then obviously white Posca pen here to create that glass look. So again, this was done in 21. This was done in 2020. This page I don't like. This page I tested so many different things and it just ended up a complete mess, and all of this is now paint pen. So I think this background is ink, and then paint pens to finish it up. And if I could redo one page out of everything I've ever colored in my life, it would be this page. That is how much of a disaster I feel it is. But again, like I said, I'm not being critical or negative. I'm just being honest. Again, this is a black Posca pen background, so it's gotten streaky, and this is all done in Castle Arts. So the Castle Arts set that was available in 2020, that's the one I've got here. And I don't know if that's the soft or the originals, but that's what I use. And as you can see, you can get a really beautiful, rich color. So I do stand by Castle Arts. If you felt somebody's encouraged you to Castle Arts and they were silly, please forgive them, because they might have had their reason. Right, then here was one of my first attempts at distress inks, and I used Prismacolors here. What I actually wanted to do, but I wasn't sure how to, was draw vases so that they were inside vases. But I couldn't get my head to see how to draw it, so I just did this instead. And I was playing with different colors, so I was kind of going for a autumn, summer, spring kind of feel. Here I'm trying cat fur, but I've seen so many beautiful versions of this page that I decided to stop here and wait till I'd gotten more experience with fur. This here is oil paint in the background, which actually works really well, but I will be honest, it takes forever to dry. So I am for oil paints. Yeah, it just needs time to dry. Then these flowers were started off with Castle Arts, and then I finished it off with Prismacolor. I did these flowers with Prismacolor. Here I had started coloring and then I ended up erasing it because I didn't like it. This is Castle Arts, and the bees are Castle Arts. And then here, this is a mix of pencils. I've got Dovecraft 3D Pearl Effects over here, and then chalk pastel in the background. Yeah. What made this page hard was I tried different pencils and I wasn't getting what I wanted, and eventually it came right, but it was a bit of a labor of love. Here we've got a black background and glitter stars and white paint splotches. And I have an idea in my head of pink hair, and I'm not sure if I'll do a very dark pink or maroon sort of dress here. But yeah, as you can see, I've whited out the black lines so I can try and create more of a natural hair color. And then I think this is gold foil around here. This is another whip. I can't remember what I've used in the background, but I got my colors the wrong way around. For some reason, my head was blue, pink, and purple. But I actually think maybe I should have put the blue in the middle and the pink on the side. So I just, yeah, I need to finish it. It's almost done. It's going to be one of those pages where I'm just going to finish it and call it quits. This one, washi tape in the background, and then Prismacolor pencils, Dovecraft glitter glue, and white Posca. I really like this page. It has special meaning to me. Yeah, sometimes I have meanings behind my pages beyond just a coloring page. Sometimes I will be meditating on something and I'll find a page that actually matches what I've been meditating on, and that's why it will have a deeper meaning. So I was meditating on something and this page fits. So then my very, very shiny crown. This is all gold foil. I used tea to stain the background. Then I went over it with, I think, eyeshadow. And then I finished everything with glitter, Dovecraft glitter glue, white Posca pen or Sakura pen, and Prismacolor pencils. And I learned that this much gold foil is just really shiny. I mean, if you can see the shine, it's ridiculous. Like really, really shiny. So if nothing else, it was just something fun to do. And I didn't really mind how it turned out because this wasn't one of those amazing illustrations for me. You know, it was like, I did not care much about it. Right, moving on. All right, Neocolor 2s. Do you see what I mean? It's already bled through. So I did Neocolor 2s in the background with some white paint splotches. And then I'm busy coloring it with Prismacolor pencils. Here we've got white acrylic paint, white Posca. We've got some gel pen, a watercolor in the background, and yeah. So again, I was trying with hearts, and I actually found to create a 3D shape in a heart form is quite tricky, especially when you've got all these jewels around it, so to be able to see how to deepen everything. But this one came out a bit more rounded and 3D-ish than my other heart, so that was really cool. And yes, it bled through tremendously, but I'll fix it. This book is really just about experimenting and journaling and yeah, just trying different things. So here we have the Galaxy White Lines, which was a color along up on the channel as a live stream. So I will try and tag that for you or put it in the description below. And I used some pencils to just deepen up her face so that her face looked a little bit more lifelike and not so flat. And I used a lot of watercolor in the background. Yeah, at the time I needed dark colors to suit my mood, so it works. But is it a galaxy effect? No. Is the white lines? Yes. So I'm very pleased with this one. I like that it was something different. So that one, yeah, this one is really dear to me. And also I hadn't had a plan for this particular page. So to be able to finish it with something as beautiful as this and as unique, yeah, it really just meant a lot to me. So we've got that. And then here is another whip. Now this I need to just finish, and I'm thinking of finishing it with Inktense pencils, and then I'm going to do a tutorial on creating bubbles. So I just needed to do a background. But yeah, really just need to come in and finish it. Maybe make like yellow flowers or something. Right, so this was the first portrait I ever did, and I remember being so pleased with myself. Again, I used Carlson pencils for everything here. And as you can see, you can get really rich color. I mean, like here and on her hair. I tried to keep her tattoos soft so that nothing was fighting and competing for attention. So yeah, I really like how she turned out. I think she's really beautiful, and I'm still pleased with her, even though if I was to go and recolor this page, I would do her skin a lot bolder and smoother. But you know, this was my first portrait in probably 7 years, and to be able to do it this way, I'm still so proud of myself. Then we have this page here, which was a color along by Zucchini Kitty. So I followed along with quite a lot of what she did. And then I changed some of the colors here and there to just make it my own. So there's some Spectrum, Nor Sparkle, and the crystal, the gem. So there you go. And then some sparkly bits down at the bottom. All right, so then here, this was done with, both pages were done with Carlson again, and a whole lot of Dovecraft glitter glue, and I think Carlson watercolors in the background, but I don't like their watercolor pencils. They're really horrid. I think here was chalk pastel over here. So if I lift it up, you should be able to see like some of the sparkle. So, and this was also my first time doing blue hair, and I really like how it turned out. So yeah, this page was done to 2020, and then about 2 months later I did this page in 2021. And this is a whip I need to finish. Then here, this was a color along up on the channel as a live stream. I used watercolors in the background. You can actually feel it had a lot of watercolor on it. Gold foil, different foils on the jars, and then Prismacolor pencils, and yeah, I mean, everything I do bleeds through. But it's okay, you know, it's just enjoy it. Doesn't matter, we can fix it. And then here, I don't remember when I did this one. So yeah, here I'd been practicing with faces. So I'd come in and done this one, and I really like how rich and dark her skin is. A lot of Dovecraft glitter glue. I drew in some things in the background. If I lift it, you can see how very sparkly it is. But yeah, I really like how she turned out. I'll just stick that there. And then here, okay, so this is another one I don't like the background. I done something to it, and yeah, I had to put these gold dots to cover up a mistake I made. So I did follow Zucchini Kitty's video for this page, but I changed the colors, but everything else I think I followed. So yeah, it was fun to do bugs different colors actually. All right, so then here, as you can see, It's another one. So this one I did watercolor in the background. I didn't want to do all the flowers. I just wanted to do her. And then I did a whole lot of stuff. So she's got gel pen and Dovecraft, not Dovecraft, Gamzite Tabby pearl colors. She's got some glitter on her lips. So yeah, this one took a really long time to finish, but I'm glad I did, and I'm also glad I tried something different for her crown. And then here I've got this one, and here I think it's a new color 2 background, and I didn't know how to do moons in those days, so I just did it like that. And again, this was 2021, so I didn't even white out my pearls, and for some reason gave my cat blue wings. And then here, this was my first galaxy background, so really love the background. I don't think I've done a galaxy background like this since. It's just gorgeous. Ended up having to create green hair, so with this page it was back and forth. At one stage I actually wanted to glue these 2 pages shut and never see it ever again. The color green just really doesn't work for me, but on this page it works really well. So yeah, this page has a lot of meaning to me because of how I struggled with it. It was one of those experiences where you encounter yourself in your art, and you encounter things, and it's almost like became a therapy session. But I came through it, and I really love that I persevered and I grew so much. So I'm very pleased that I completed it and went for it and tried new things and really stepped out of my comfort zone. So yeah, a very special page. Then there's this one. This I started with Castle Arts, and I used Dovecraft 3D Pearl Effects and glitter glue, and then I stopped and I didn't finish it until 2023. Then I think I used watercolor and then acrylic paint to create the splotches so that it looked like it was on a beach. And I used the color combos from Miss Martley's coloring channel to finish these 2 shells. In the end, it turned out all right, and I was very happy. We're almost at the end. So this one I did in February 2021. This is with some, I think, Neocolor 2s. This is all done with Castle Arts. And here is when I started to learn how to use lights. So I started making the flowers a bit lighter, and I started bringing more white into my pictures. And yeah, the result was really cool. A lot of Dovecraft glitter glue here. I just really love how this page turned out. And my youngest son, he was about he was about 6, and he picked out all the colors for me and said to me I could only use these colors. So I had to really adapt and layer up to get the effects that I did. And then finally I have this page, which is a Neocolor 2 background. This section here is Prismacolor. I think maybe the red is Prismacolor, but the apple and the bug were Castle Art pencils. And as you can see, the Castle Art does come out really vibrant. And then gold acrylic paint splotches in the background. So yeah, as you can see, a whole lot in this book, but I really love how this has turned out. It's a really special book to me. So thank you for joining me and sharing it with you. Then next up, I have Tales from the City Among the Stars. I think I've only got 1 page done here, and that is this one. So I used Neocolor 2s in the background, actually for just about all of it, and pencil on the frame here, and then a whole lot of white pen. So yeah, I really like how that one turned out. And again, I've got pink bleed through. So that is Tales from the City Among the Stars. Then I've got Tales from the Midnight Masquerade. And in here I have a few. So I have this, and this is another galaxy background with Neocolor 2s, but this is only one layer. Now, next time I do it, I know I need to go in and do a second layer. And I did a night and a morning, or an ice and a fire, and I was very much inspired by Shamanella Art over on Instagram and her version of these two pages, so I really was inspired by that and drew a lot of my inspiration from her. I've got a whole lot of Dovecraft glitter glue on this page. These studs here are diamond art drills, which I think really works really well. And then I've got a whole lot of white paint on both pages, some Dovecraft glitter glue up here in her crown and along her dress. There you go. So yeah, and I followed the Color Special Effects by Helen Elliston tutorial books for the star here. So that's that. All right, so here is a whip and a page. So this is the Queen of Spades, and I love the background. I actually really love how the background turned out, and I carried on trying the background on here, but it didn't get executed as well as this side, so I need to just finish her up. But I love how they work, and yeah, this was a long time coming. I tried it with polychromos pencils, and yeah, then it wasn't working. Then I came back, and eventually I came right and fixed it, and she's turned out really lovely. So and then one day I'll finish her. But maybe it's a good thing that her background doesn't match hers, because you know they connected with a similar color, but it will keep her unique. So that is that, and I think that is it for Tales from the Midnight Masquerade. And then finally I have Tales from the Forest Kingdom. Now here I was testing out my polychromos pencils, so really like that. And then I carried on testing my polychromos pencils with the nameplate page. And again, I really liked how it turned out. I really should do polychromos more in my Hannah Carlson books. They really do work well. And then this page is up on the channel as a color along. It was a live stream color along, so it's got loads. It's got Inktense pencils in the background. I think even here on the grass was Inktense. It's got 3D. No, it doesn't have 3D. Yes, it does. 3D pearl effects over here on the mushrooms. I've got Dovecraft glitter glue on the flowers. And a whole lot of white gel pen. And then over here, I've used diamond drills, and also along here, I've used some diamond drills. I just think it's fun to use different things. So yeah, really liked how that one turned out. And then here I use Inktense pencils as a base for the frame, and I think maybe the background, I can't remember. And then I think this is also up on the channel. What happened was my white Posca pen bled, so I had to spread all the white Posca pen out the way it did, and stick on stars, and then Dovecraft glitter glue in the, yeah. So I did this one as support for Hannah Carlson when she was struggling with cancer. And here we've got watercolor background and then I think Prismacolor pencils. I think this was also a color along up on the channel. So I will try and find all my color alongs for you and link them. Otherwise, you can go check out the Hannah Carlson playlist up on my channel and you should find all of my Hannah Carlson color alongs there. Then I have this one and I use Neocolor 2s for the background and I went back over it a few times. And then this is foil. And then I think I used Prismacolors and then some sparkle, Spectrum Noir sparkle, I think, on her wings. I'm not sure if you can see that. And then here in the background, I'm also using Neocolor 2s in the background. But then I just stopped coloring it, so I need to go back and finish it. And I've got my plan here, so it won't take too long. Then this one here was a 40-minute challenge I did in July last year. The challenge was to see how much could I get done in 45 minutes. And it's incomplete, but I'm calling it complete because it was a challenge. So this is how much I can color in 45 minutes, and I was using polychromos pencils. So yeah. Then this one is also a color along up on the channel. Neocolor 2s in the background, white paints to create like a foggy feel. I tried to do like magical swirl in here, but it didn't really work out very well. I used polychromos pencils and Dovecraft glitter glue on the mushrooms. This was back in 2022. And then here I used, I think it was graphitints on the trees, maybe even the background here. And then I went over things with Prismas. There's Spectrum Noir sparkle in the background and on the stars. I really liked how it turned out, and I liked playing with the lighting. I thought that was a load of fun. So that is it. So that is all my books from Hannah Carlson and Clara Markova. Thank you so much everyone for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time. I hope you've enjoyed this video and I look forward to seeing you in another video. Until next time everyone, take care. Bye for now.